Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope that you're all doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to follow me on social media. There are links in the description below the video. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome back to another edition of Yup. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. We have been told for, it's been a few months now, that Bitcoin demand is quite high. We have seen it in the news, and we are, I guess, experiencing what we've been hearing about for a while. Companies, banks, institutions, governments, you know the whole thing, are buying up all the Bitcoin. I know it sounds repetitive, but also if you're not paying attention, you're probably gonna be one of the people who doesn't benefit from all of this. That's usually the way that things actually end up working. These people are quite serious about accumulating all of, if not the entirety of this asset class. So it's just always something to actually keep in mind. A company by the name of Volcon, V-O-L-C-O-N. Not to make fun of it, but the names of these companies continue to get more and more out of hand and interesting as the days go by. Volcon is apparently going to become Empery Digital, E-M-P-E-R-Y Digital, with a focus on a Bitcoin treasury. Surprise, surprise, right? Why would anyone be trying to rapidly accumulate this asset that all these people keep saying is going to $1 million per coin? Volcon Inc. has announced the close of a $500 million US private placements as it pivots towards a Bitcoin-centric treasury strategy. Does it say what they were before? I don't know. In a significant rebrand, the company plans to change its name to Empery Digital Inc. and update its ticker symbol to EMP and D. We have had a weird... So first of all, there have been a lot of companies who've been announcing that they're going to be buying Bitcoin. Got it. A lot of them have been rebranding or just kind of foregoing whatever they were doing before. If you happened to miss it, there were a number of companies who were apparently... Like Ethereum is actually going both ways. A lot of Ethereum-centric companies announced that they are going to be just buying Bitcoin. And a number of Bitcoin companies, like they were mining Bitcoin, have announced that they're moving over to Ethereum exclusively. I'm not really sure what exactly what's going on. And let's see if it actually ends up working for them. Does it say what this company was before? Because... In a huge rebrand, were they like a mattress company or something? It's always something you wouldn't expect. I usually expect some kind of a tech something company, but no. The round saw strong participation from top crypto investors, including Pantera, Falcon X, Borderless, and Relayer Capital. Volcon aims to allocate over 95% of the money that they raised to go into Bitcoin, positioning itself as a global leader in Bitcoin corporate holdings. Cool. Awesome. We've never gotten news like this before, so I'm certain this is, I'm going to say shocking to everyone who's actually here. I don't really know how much longer this can actually go on. We have continuously heard from companies who are buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin. It's never or not usually any like small numbers. So if everyone is purchasing $500 million worth of Bitcoin from the get-go, and then 3 months later they do the same thing again, and we keep hearing about new companies like Volcon and all these other, I just at some point we have to get the news like, oh, there's only one Bitcoin left on exchanges. So I assume we'll get there eventually. That's the Empery Digital. Why Empery Digital? I don't understand what that could possibly mean, but I assume it has some kind of significance. That's that news of accumulation that keeps happening every single day, and people keep pretending that it's not going on. And yeah, let's move on. I still widely believe that the only way people are going to pay attention is when Bitcoin's $1 million. Something called Grupo Murano, it says, is apparently shifting their strategy. They will be converting $1 billion in real estate that they have into Bitcoin, aiming to build a $10 billion treasury in 5 years. Grupo Murano, a major Mexican real estate and hospitality firm, is reinventing its finance model. Surprise, because every other company is doing the same. Instead of solely relying on traditional assets, they're converting properties into Bitcoin to build a sizable crypto treasury, targeting $10 billion worth of Bitcoin over the next 5 years. So here's a crazy one. Remember all the stuff we were talking about in 2017 and 2018, and it's been sprinkled through the rest of it. For those of you who don't know the tale, this was foretold a long time ago, not by this one company in particular, but a lot of the very early people in crypto all prophesized, mentioned that at some point in the future, Bitcoin would outperform every other asset. If you just rolled your eyes, this video is probably not for you. So remember, there was a TV show years ago called Million Me? Buy Me Millions. No, wait. $1 million listing. I think that something like that. Anyway, the point of it was three guys in New York, and they had like tons of fake drama. But the point of the show is that they were selling, multi-million-dollar homes for money. Got it. And then there was one special episode that's constantly making the rounds in the news where the guy Ryan, he was trying to sell a home, and the guy wanted to purchase the home in Bitcoin. The owner, of course, said, no, I don't know what that is. That sounds absolutely insane, and didn't accept the offer. I think the property is now worth $30 or $40 million or something like that. But the Bitcoin that guy would have received for the property, I think, is over $1 billion. If I remember the numbers correctly, but that sounds relatively correct. So a lot of these early analysts and whatever you want to call them, years ago spoke about a time where people would come to the conclusion that Bitcoin has, and will continue to outpace other assets. We in crypto are quite, I don't know. We're used to seeing 100% gains, 150% gains. It goes up by 18% in one day. Traditional assets don't do that. So from the outside looking in, a lot of people think the cryptocurrency market is just weird. Us being inside of it, we're used to these numbers. We're used to this kind of money being made in a relatively short period of time. What ends up happening and has been happening and will continue to take place is, I told you before, there will be people who have 5 properties. And at some point they'll go, I made good money with this, but Bitcoin did better. And then they end up selling off one of their properties, and then the Bitcoin's price continues going higher. Then it becomes a question of, do I even need this real estate? And I can feel it in the air. I know this is a very difficult conversation to have. I've tried talking with people in crypto and also outside of crypto about things like this, and you can tell on their faces that it's kind of like me telling them, hey, I'm going to grow wings on Friday, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have the same exact spots as a Dalmatian. And they go, oh, you're crazy. Like that kind of thing. So we have heard from a number of companies who are selling gold, who are going to be buying Bitcoin. We've heard from CEOs and hedge funds for the last couple of years that they were also selling their gold holdings to be able to buy Bitcoin. When I mention a lot of times, if you hear that a company is moving $500 million into Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum, never forget this one point. They're choosing to put $500 million into Bitcoin, not real estate, not land, not in a new company, not into gold, and not into anything else that your mind could possibly imagine up. That's why I keep saying it's really weird, because we're hearing about hundreds of billions of dollars being thrown exclusively at Bitcoin at a time when real estate looks a little nice to get into, where a lot of other currencies are undervalued. A lot of, land is kind of up for grabs right now. And, many parts of, if you haven't seen how cheap it is to actually buy a home in Japan, I implore you to do so. But yes, so the next step ends up being a company will announce that they're selling off their real estate holdings to put into Bitcoin. That real estate that they sold will probably continue going up in value. Just logically, people want homes. But if all those price predictions end up coming true, if we end up seeing that in 2029 or 2030, so saith woman with glasses, Kathy Wood, and we have a $2.4 million Bitcoin, what other asset that wasn't in crypto did that well? How many other companies then announce, I got to get rid of some of my holdings to be able to, you understand, selling $1 billion worth of anything to grow into Bitcoin? This is why I keep saying something's happening. Someone behind the scenes said something. That's a lot of conviction to have. Think about it. You are so sure that Bitcoin's going to do well that you sold $1 billion worth of the real estate that you were holding. That's guaranteed money. That is, you are guaranteed to get rent. You are guaranteed to make money. The money that you make from that, you can swish into other properties. Let's sell $1 billion and put it into Bitcoin. Yes, times they are a changing. I expect more of this in the future. We've already seen fragments of this over the years. I think it's just now that it's getting more intense. So I barely saw anyone talking about this. I barely saw this in the news. I'm not sure if news about the ETFs accumulating tons of coins made more news, or the 2 new countries that we heard from recently who were also trying to start buying Bitcoin was just more popular. I honestly don't know, but no, yeah, it's all pretty weird. I have to keep saying it every day because I think that's the only thing that keeps me mentally in check, is this weird idea that all of this is happening right in front of us. Remember we were talking about 2 weeks ago that Google searches, if you didn't see, Google searches for Bitcoin are usually an indicator for a bull run. So you can see when more people are Googling the terms, should I buy Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin a good investment? Do I need Bitcoin? How much Bitcoin should I have? You can tell, okay, we're in a bull run. This has, the searches have increased by 300%. The only thing that's increased by 300% plus have been the companies buying Bitcoin. The searching for Bitcoin and crypto remain flat. It's almost as if we're not in a bull run at all. And, so yeah, I guess it's just the way that things always will be. I know I am not the only one who has told people about crypto before and then no one pays attention. But it's getting serious. It's getting to the point where it's like, okay, it's nice to see adoption, but it's not the form of crypto adoption that I thought we were going to lean into by any means. Yeah. Hope everyone out there is doing okay. I know a lot of stuff is going on. There's always something. I just saw, I don't remember even what it was. I saw something on Instagram basically like, I remember being younger and thinking like, can't wait till I get older. And then you cross that threshold and there's something every 24 hours. Not every 124. Every 24 hours, there's something new to deal with and it can be exhausting. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting the channel. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.